Okay, I think we're live on my end.
Okay, we are also live on mine.
Okay. Chat, we're going to start in a second. Let me know if we have any audio issues. I had to kind of throw this thing together quickly because I forgot Corey doesn't use Stream. What was it called again?
StreamYard.
StreamYard, yeah.
Not paying them $10 a month for my 720p streams that we were able to have. Would have been
Is it
like
really
30.
limited to 720p?
Yeah, unless you pay significantly more, which I didn't want to do. No.
No. Screw
That's
that.
money that I can't spend on Smirnoff Ice Berry Blasts.
That's what it always comes down to you, Corey. I'm like, yeah, Corey, can we play this new game on stream? And you're like, no, that takes away from my
My Berry
Smirnoff Ice
Blast
money.
budget.
Yeah. I got $20 this month extra. And it's all going towards Berry Blast.
Look, gotta make tough times like these. You gotta choose your priorities.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good. I think I'm live on my end. I haven't seen too many comments. Just want to just wait 1 second.
I'll load your stream and see if it says live.
Okay.
I'm
right.
seeing us.
Okay. Cool. Start us off, Corey.
Oh, me? Well,
Mm-hmm.
hello there, and welcome back for another episode of Tapcaf Transmissions, the only Star Wars podcast that is so hastily thrown together. I'm Corey, joined as always by Mr. Eckhart's Ladder. How are you doing tonight, Justin?
I'm well. You'll always say things which just don't seem true to me. Like, if there's one thing that's true about podcasts, is that generally they're made by people too lazy to actually put together something with a script or preparation time. They just want to yap.
I don't know. I have you seen how seriously Star Wars podcast people take their podcasts?
I have, to be fair, yes.
I feel like we're really at the bottom of the ladder there.
I don't know. I mean, taking it seriously doesn't imply that it's good or anything.
But you know what is good, though, is Skeleton Crew, the topic of tonight's episode, and I think we both really liked it so far, right?
Yeah. Any other news, though, before we get into that?
No?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty short. So we had our first two episodes of Skeleton Crew. The bit of a change next week because the third episode is on Tuesday.
Yes.
Instead of Monday, which is big.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal there is, why they moved this pair of episodes a day up. I thought originally when I saw the news that that was changing, that it was going to be for the whole season, because then they'd be off of New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, like we talked about last time, but apparently not. They want to keep those nights, so I don't know. But
yeah, funny, 'cause I believe they did this exact same thing with Ahsoka as well, because I was kind of looking back, because we talked about, I think we talked about this on the podcast episode, about how I thought it was a bit weird that they were dropping reviews the day of, and it had me a bit concerned. Thankfully, it ended up being not earned concern. But yeah, I was looking back, and I think they did the exact same thing with Ahsoka, where they moved the first two episodes up a day, which I don't know.
Well, speaking of that, I guess there is sort of news. We got the advanced copies of the Reign of the Empire trilogy, Mask of Fear. I've started reading it. I don't know if you...
No, I haven't yet.
Because it's only available for a little while, and then but it doesn't come out until next February. But they said there's no embargo on reviews, so it's kind of the flip side, where like sometimes it can be concerning if the reviews are embargoed too long. But it seemed to me when I read that they were like really confident in this book being good, and I've been loving it so far. So
how far into the first? I mean, there's only one of the books out so far. How far into it are you?
I'm 25% through according to my ebook app. I've been reading like a chapter or two whenever I've been putting my puppy down for a nap. So it's been kind of slow going, but it's really good. Like it starts off right after episode 3, and there's so many things it talks about that are like elements of episode 3 or like the after effects of episode 3 that you don't really think about, but like
Mhm.
make sense when you get there. And I love it. Like I love Alexander Free's writing in Star Wars, so I've really enjoyed it. But I guess that's kind of
Yeah,
news.
it was kind of like that with Alpha Squadron 2,
Mhm.
where like the big question there was like, what do you do with all the Empire or all the Imperials who either have given it up or haven't, or like how do you treat an Imperial who surrenders 3 months in versus one who surrenders
Yeah.
the day after Endor? So I'm looking forward to that.
But yeah, so that's really good, but also I don't know if it really counts as news. I
Mm,
recommend the book when it comes out, at least so far.
okay. Okay.
But Skeleton Crew, we start off 2 episode premiere. I was a little bit surprised by how short episode 2 was, actually. Episode 1 was about 42 minutes ish. Episode 2 was like 25. So it kind of
Yeah.
ended, and I
So
was like, oh, okay.
yeah. So episode 1, including credits and intro, was 47 minutes.
Mhm.
Episode 2 was 29, which is very short. Um, episode 3 will be 37. So in between.
That's more in line with what a lot of the other shows have been. Like Mando ended
Mhm.
up being what, like 32 minutes a lot of the time for like actual episode runtime.
Yeah, I remember the first episode of Mando was really quite short, but but yeah, it's I think the runtime kind of makes sense for a show like this, which it is. It's I don't think there's going to be a ton of jumping around between characters. I think we'll have the kids and then we'll have their family,
Mhm.
kind of missing them on their home planet. And then yeah, that should be it. Play it pretty straight and hopefully not too much. It's hard to say like you can even waste time in a show like this, which is kind of different because it is a big vibes show compared to something like Andor, for example. Obviously,
Yeah, like they ultimately just have to do what they're doing, find the treasure on home, like on At-Atton, get home,
hmm
and
hmm
that's kind of all it needs to do. Like it's a show that definitely has lower stakes. Like we're probably not going to find out what's next for the New Republic in this the same way that they kind of have to deal with in Ahsoka or the Mandalorian. So I think
yeah.
that's
It
kind of
seems
refreshing.
like my early estimation of is way off for what the plot was going to be.
That they were going
Where
to
I
end up
thought,
in Peridia or Prinium.
yeah, or like messed, or like the hyperspace jump was going to mess
Yeah.
them up. When seems like the main thing keeping them lost is this weird veil that's supposedly around the planet, or the fact that the
Mhm.
planet's kept quite secret, which I didn't even consider. It's funny they've left. They don't know how to get back, not because of any reason other than they don't know anything about their planet.
Yeah, well, if someone asked, if you like hyperspaced away from Earth and someone was like, okay, how do you get home? Would you know? You know where
No,
Earth is?
nope,
There you go.
nope, I don't. But these kids are like doing data science though.
Yeah.
Like they're a
So
lot smarter than I am already.
Dana watched it with me and she was talking about like the math they were doing. Like, I didn't do that until university.
Yeah, they're like multiplying matrices and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
But
yeah, no, I'm good.
so how did you feel about the planet itself, the suburbs of Star Wars? Other than like it being offensive to my urbanist sensibilities, but
Yeah, it was not a very did not I mean, I wanted to say it wasn't a very bike friendly city, but
it wasn't.
uh it's sprawl. There's a lot of sprawl. Uh yeah, it looked like someone's city skylines build. But I feel mixed because it was definitely too Earth-like for me, where like it passed the kind of limit of what I was happy with. Um so I didn't love it. There were parts like I thought that there were a lot of little details that were nice. Like one thing I noticed that was funny is when he's watching the two girls on their bike
Hmm.
take the shortcut to school, they take their bike off a little jump, like a
Hmm.
ramp that you can see next to the barrier, and then it's his turn, he stops and he like slowly lifts it over. I thought there were like lots of little details like that which were nice, and I thought like the city itself had a sort of sensibility to it that was fine, but too Earth-like, and I was glad when they left.
Yeah, like there's got to be Star Wars planets like that though. So they had enough Star Warsy stuff going on it that it didn't bother me. Like I
Mm.
bought in fine. especially with
Mhm.
like all the aliens. Like I think that if they'd gone lighter on the aliens, maybe I would have felt differently. But there were enough aliens around that it
My problem
worked
was
for
more
me.
that they not just like the big swaths were similar, but like they kept the details. Like
Hmm.
they had like a lawnmower that was just a lawnmower,
Yeah,
although it was being pushed by a robot. Or um they had a the Ithorian walking her dog, or the way that the street lamps looked exactly like Earth like street lamps.
yeah. The only thing that like kind of stood out to me was when the bike stopped working, but it kept hovering.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah,
repulsor still worked, but the propulsor didn't work.
yeah, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, so
So,
we find out that they're kind of isolated. No one they talk about the Republic, but
mhm,
as we see in the second episode, he's got Republic credits of like episode 1 vintage, same ones
mhm,
that Qui-Gon uses uh trying to barter with Watto.
yep.
But the so when they talk about the Republic, they don't even probably know that the New Republic exists or that the Empire existed. So they've been out here cut off from society for a while.
Mhm. I was a bit surprised that, like, given that fact that there was a pretty broad, like, and diverse population on the planet. Like,
Mhm.
there were different aliens. There were aliens speaking different languages as well. Um, but yeah, they say there's some what I forget what's the word they use for the barrier again.
Mail or something?
Yeah, and then
Uh
there is one shot when he's going to bed, and you take a look in the night sky, and there's like red lights everywhere. Um, which I don't know what that is. Like whether there's some sort of like cloak around the planet or
it's just barriers.
what. Because like it seems that they're trying to, like, the kids have never seen stars before. All they see at night are those red
Mhm.
lights. Maybe it's a shield. Who knows? Either way, it doesn't stop the ship from leaving, but it seems to have them cut off, and it definitely has sort of a Fallout Vault vibes a bit,
Yeah,
where
definitely.
there's there's definitely something also menacing going on. Like I think, like the robots give me a bad vibe. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think there's something kind of something nasty underneath the surface.
Yeah, like I saw some people speculating that because the Proctor I think talks about like the Great Works
Mhm.
and there's the barrier. Like I've seen people talk about it being High Republic connected and that's what they've gotten the Nile occlusion zone down to, but I just
Oh,
want to
okay.
get out in front of that and say absolutely not. That is not the case. This is
Yeah, I mean,
not
you wouldn't be able to hyperspace jump through the Nile occlusion zone.
well, it'd also just be kind of hilarious if the Nile who go from like the storm runners and everything into the suburbs.
The
This is
boys
what
got one
Martian
planet
Row
left.
resorts to.
Yeah, yeah. Marshall Row is just really anti-bike lane.
He
Um,
probably is. Fuck that guy. He's the Doug
yeah.
Ford of Star Wars.
So the planet's called At-Atton, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I haven't checked, but we haven't seen it in lore yet, which
Nope.
I guess is appropriate. Kind of a fun thing where it's basically a mythical treasure planet. Where so in the second episode, jumping ahead a bit, the kids are. What do you think was going on with that sex worker? Do you think she was actually trying to save them? Because I got the feeling that she was. They think she's trying to kidnap them, but I think she's just
Yeah.
like there should not be children here.
Like what's
But
she gonna do with them? They're of no benefit to anyone. You could
yeah,
have just ignored like what's she getting out of that?
yeah. But at first, when they said At-Atton, I thought she just didn't know the planet. I was like how would she know every single planet in the galaxy? And then it kind of later on, it's clear that no, this is not a planet unknown. It's a planet with this mystical
Mm-hmm.
history. Kind of like what's that one in? I forget the name of the one from the Thrawn duology. It's just with like an X.
Exocron?
Yeah, Exocron. Kind of similar. Although I don't think Exocron's like a treasure world, but
No, it's just a world where George Cardass can apparate a little teapot from the other room.
Mhm.
It's hard to get to, but it's not like
He's extra. Yeah,
legendary.
yeah, yeah. So I thought that's a fun little twist. Uh, But yeah, did you have any thoughts about the planet?
No, like just I think we're gonna find out more about it. Obviously, it's interesting that the pirate droids were already there. Like
Mm.
there were people hunting for that treasure before it got cut off, presumably, unless the pirate ship had made it through the barrier or was shot down after getting out of the barrier, and
Mhm.
they are more recent. I think that's kind of my big question for it. Like, how long was that pirate ship there that they
Mhm.
took off in compared to uh compared to the planet being locked out?
Yeah.
And also, how much does the planet know about it? Because was Fern telling the truth about, oh, this was going to be a neighborhood and that's why it's locked out? But
Yeah.
then if that is the case, then that's a cover story for something, and they know, like the planet knows that ship was there. The
Mhm.
administration knows that ship was there. So those are, I think,
Yeah.
the big questions to look out for me. I enjoyed what they did with the John Watt style high school,
Mhm.
uh they're not high school. I guess they're probably what, middle school, elementary school.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that they were told to poop in their desks though.
Yeah, I was watching that. I watched that with August a second time, and I was like, "Is it saying call? Use the desk function as in the call a droid, or use the desk function as like just take care of it there?"
Yeah,
Because you
that's got
think like,
some Harry Potter, they just shit their pants and wandered
and then
away energy that
operate it
I'm
away.
not
Yeah,
here for.
yeah, um, yeah. That'd be embarrassing for sure. There are a lot of different biologies in Star Wars too,
Yeah.
especially in these two episodes. But yeah, like the town definitely reminded me a lot of the Stranger Things town.
Yeah.
Um, where, and I mean that's not surprising, but where like it seems to be quite peaceful and set firmly in the 1980s. No, this one less so in the 80s, but for the Stranger Things one, and then there's something more going on that we're going
Yeah.
to learn about, something darker.
But actually, as far as that like 80s feel, the kids who love Star Wars feel.
Hmm.
So obviously, like it's a show that I do want to see if my nephews end up liking.
Hmm.
But for a lot of those elements, it feels more like it is set up to appeal to people with the nostalgia for that kind of period. So
Hmm.
I am kind of wondering if they'll respond to it the same way. It's like I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh, this is how I felt about Star Wars when I was a kid." So I'm glad this captures it with like how Wim was playing with his uh, Jedi and Sith action figures, and just the the 90s style or the 80s styles of the show. But which of those things will actually work for like actual
Yeah,
kids at this point, and which are only really
yeah,
going to get responded to well by adults who are filled with nostalgia and want to be pandered to?
yeah. So I watched with my son last night. I really wanted to before we did this. It's kind of funny because I was wondering the exact same thing. But the show does a good job of, yes, having that hook, but then also genuinely having, I think, the interesting things for the kids. Like,
Right.
I think my son was he wasn't bored, but like, he said something really funny about the planet where he was like, this is so funny. It's like if Earth, and he said something like if Earth and Star Wars were mixed or something like that. But then the parts about like the pirate ship,
Hmm.
like and getting on the ship and like going to the alien base, like he really did dig that. And he was like, we got to watch this again this weekend. And I was like, there's not gonna be a new episode. He's like, I don't care, I want to watch it again anyway. So I think
Hear
the
that, Kathleen Kennedy?
yeah, I actually did restart my Disney Plus subscription, but it's going away the second it's over. So you
They
fucked
raised
up by having.
prices.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's really expensive. I usually just torrent it, but you know I gotta react quickly.
Now we're never getting re-added to the early screeners.
Fuck them. If they re-add me to the early screening program, I'm definitely removing Disney Plus.
Oh, he doesn't speak for me. I will keep Disney Plus. I just don't want to be rushing the night it comes out to write stuff.
That's what's so annoying. Um, but yeah, I think kids will dig it. I mean, it sort of depends. Like the second episode was really good. Like the aliens were very very silly, and there were a lot of them, and that's like a massive part about getting kids interested.
Yeah.
Um, And the robot, I think the robot is going to be a big hit as well.
Yeah, like I probably talk about it too much, but like for me, having the aliens there is such a big bonus. Like because
Mhm,
it's so much cheaper to just not do it.
mhm,
So when they're willing to do that, especially as a primary character like Neil,
mhm.
it adds a lot for me. Like I don't love Book of Boba Fett, but I do really appreciate that element of Book of Boba Fett. Like
Yeah.
it really did kind of go the extra mile to have a lot of aliens in a lot of places. And I feel like Skeleton Crew is doing the same thing, both just the having a few characters here and there on At-Atton, but especially once you get to Borgo Prime, which is itself a Legends callback
Mhm.
to Young Jedi
I did not pick
Knights.
up on that. Yeah.
It's uh, it's pretty fitting. Like I
Mhm.
think they could have just had a lot of humans doing stuff, and they didn't. So good for them.
Yeah, I agree totally with Book of Boba Fett, and it's one of the reasons why I really have a soft spot for that show, even though there's so many issues. Um, but yeah, this one, like, I thought like for an opening 2 episodes, I thought the special effects were maybe the best outside of
Yeah.
Andor. Um, like what's the name of the asteroid again?
Borgo Prime.
Orgo, yeah. I was really, really impressed by that planet. I just thought as like the shot where they're coming in was really well done. It's funny. I was looking through the ships for video, and I was like, okay, I hate on the Rise of Skywalker a lot, but one benefit of that is they now have a bunch of higher quality freighter models that they can throw into the background. And when you look um, at that scene, I think every single ship except for like one is in the fleet at the end of the movie there,
Yeah.
and that other one may very well have been as well. So thanks to Rise of Skywalker for that. But I thought that like just there's lots of little details like as they're pulling in, there's like these little turbo laser asteroids. They're like following the ship, and then they pretty much take a rowboat to shore, and then they're in the pirates enclave. It's very fun, and you know it adds just a little twinge of adventure that simply landing on another planet
Yeah.
like they might have in the Mandalorian doesn't.
Yeah, like I think the show hasn't had anything that like brings me in as much as the like high highs of some of the other shows may have had. Like
Mhm.
Ahsoka, even just the duel at the end of the first episode with
Mhm.
when like Sabine gets stabbed.
Yep.
Uh like I that kind of brought me into that show more than anything here did, but there was nothing in the first two episodes that really brought me out of it. Like it feels like it's the most solid all the way through so far.
Yeah, I thought the weakest part of the episodes was maybe the very beginning, the
Mhm.
action scene, which I think the action in that scene is going to be pretty representative of how a lot of the action is,
Yeah.
where it's like bad guys come out, bad guys are shot, more bad guys come out, cool wolf guy comes out, shoots some
Yeah.
people. I think it's gonna be a lot of it. I thought like the only sort of weak special effect moment was that moment where the little space troopers came across and blew up the laser, but even that was like it was really well
Mhm.
done. Um, like I thought the rest was pretty much movie standard. Uh, yeah, so I agree. No, for me, I don't know. I really really I really like the Mandalorian episode 2 because we spent so much time in the city, and I thought they did a
Mhm.
really good job on that. So this, yeah, the doc Borgo really it does a lot for me.
So, and for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, the with the Legends callback, in Young
Mhm.
Jedi Knights, there's a lot of talk like a pirate base on or a pirate asteroid base called Borgo Prime, and like that's where a lot of pirate contacts are. That comes up in like Junior Jedi Knights. It's also mentioned in Spectre of the Past or Vision of the Future,
Hmm.
by Timothy Zahn, which Wikipedia says is the Wikipedia article for the planet says a financial center for the Imperial Remnant based on the Hand of
Hmm.
Thrawn duology. But that's wrong because the only time it's mentioned in the Hand of Thrawn duology is when a pirate is talking about their associates on that planet. That doesn't make it a financial center that makes it a pirate base.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm curious about is the timeline, which I still don't think we know exactly when this is set. We've got the that one Nikto alien who appears in Mando season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering and obviously he serves with I can't remember the name. Yeah. So I'm wondering if this is his crew before that or after that. Um, I thought maybe had we seen that giant pig guy too? I can't remember if he was in Mando season 3 as well.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be after Mando, but like whenever Jon Favreau's asked about it, he's like, I don't know. Time is a
Yeah,
circle.
he doesn't know.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I really like that base. There's some fun details there. What do you think is so? It's pretty clear that Jude Law's character is the one at the very beginning, and obviously we see him maskless at the end. I don't even really think they're trying to hide it. I was looking at some of the other promo material, and he's got the exact same outfit he does at the beginning, just without the helmet on. So it's definitely the same character. Zach, I know, had a theory, and this is one that I was thinking too, that maybe he's undercover for the pirates and trying to find his way to their planet or whatever. I think that doesn't quite work because he was in there before the kids show up.
Yeah.
At least you assume. I think what's going to happen is that he's probably going to see the children as a way to get back in the good graces of his crew, who we've seen he just now, wasted a bunch of lives on an attack that gave them no credit. So he's probably going to see or hear that they're from At-Atton, which is a supposed treasure planet, and he's probably going to want to lead the pirates back to that. And then I assume at some point he's going to fall in love with the kids and have a change in conscience.
I don't think he's gonna try to get back in the good graces of I don't think that's what he's gonna be doing. I feel like he's just gonna see the treasure world as a way to kind of get away from all that. Or like make his own way rather than like getting back in with this crew that wanted to get rid of him. Like he's definitely using the kids. I feel like that's going to be some point of conflict of like he's taking advantage of them just to get to At-Atton. But I don't think it's so much he's going to sell them out in their world out to the pirates to get back in with the pirates who he was already thrown aside by. Like I don't think it's because he's force sensitive. He was a Jedi, or like I know that's the marketing is like he was a Jedi, right? But is it more he was a Jedi, or he's going to claim to have been a Jedi?
Yeah, even the trivia page on StarWars.com has like he's claiming to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like maybe, but it just seems like a bad move to try to get back in with the pirate crew. Maybe that's biasing me into thinking he's not doing it because I think it's a stupid idea if you can just take the treasure for yourself and fuck off.
Something to be said about having a crew though, following you, right? Because
He was a different crew, like the sex worker who wants to save the kids.
Yeah,
not the angry Shistavainen. What's his
name? They had one of the I can't remember. He's cool though.
Orgus or something.
They had one of the 6-titty human aliens though, like in Jabba's. Could even have been the same woman.
Well, wouldn't she have been exploded?
I don't know if she was on the
palace didn't explode, so not everyone got out.
Ascagian. I guess they all just look like that.
Bob Cajun?
Yeah. 6 breasts, wrinkled foreheads.
This morning.
Like Star Wars is so fun. Like, why do they all have wrinkled foreheads? Not just that one was old. Actually,
why is every Mandalorian? Why is Boba Fett a planet?
Yeah, that's true. Ascagian young ones were called kids. Okay.
There is
Yarna del Gargan. That was the name of the one at Jabba's. Yarna decided to honor 2 of the beings responsible for her freedom by naming her twin daughter or her 2 daughters Luke and Leia.
Where did that come up? Is that Legends or canon?
That's Legends. Looks like that was in The Fat Dancer's Tale from Tales of the Jabba's Palace. I don't remember that one
Oh
at
my god.
all.
They can
I
get
used
away
to.
with.
I don't remember that one.
Imagine getting tapped to write like from a certain point of view now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want your story to be called? The Fat Dancers.
Imagine being the actress. Been like,
Yeah.
oh, they wrote a story about you. Like, oh, they're really taken by my performance. Yeah, you're the fat dancer. Congrats.
No thanks.
I've got other qualities as well.
Well, we from a certain point of view has come a long way since Tales from. So we should just be grateful. But back to John and Naywood, do you think they're trying to like fake it out that the guy that is supposed to be some kind of reveal that he was the one at the start? Like I kind of felt like they were just everyone is supposed to know.
But I don't think August knew when he watched,
No?
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was just a way to
Um,
explain why he was in the brig when you meet him later.
yeah, and I mean for us that seems obvious. I will say I didn't recognize his voice at first.
Oh,
So like
okay.
I didn't put it together right away because I don't know that much about Jude Law. Like I don't even know if I can name like 2 movies he's been in.
Maybe
Although
that's part of it for me because I'm a law stan, but I went
are
to
you?
law school.
Yeah, like looking at oh yeah, no, I remember that voice from The Talented Mr. Ripley from 1999.
Well, I
Oh yeah.
loved him in AI. Zach and I were talking about this yesterday, I think, as well.
Mhm.
Where I had a double feature weekend once when I was a kid watching AI and The Good Son, and those are
Mhm.
not 2 movies you watch as a kid if you don't want to be scarred for life. I feel like that weekend had a significant impact on my psychological development for the last 23 years.
That was me in The Exorcist, I think. Just, I had to I had to call my mom and go home from the sleepover. Shameful.
Well, I think I was watching these movies alone. My cousin Jesse might have been there, but
Classic Jesse.
classic Jesse. But it was so. Have you ever seen The Good Son? Do you know what it is?
No, no.
It's Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood in like 1996 or something.
Mhm.
And so they're just kids. And Macaulay Culkin is a psychopath. I think they're like cousins or something. So Elijah Wood is staying at Macaulay Culkin's house.
Mhm.
And he's like shoots a shoots a dog with a crossbow. And Macaulay Culkin's
Mm.
just he's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think the movie ends with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood hanging off a cliff. And Macaulay Culkin's mom has to try to save them, but she can only save one. So she saves Elijah Wood and lets Macaulay
I think
Culkin
I do
plummet to
remember
his
that
death.
part. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Spoilers
Um,
for The Good Son if anyone was looking
you
forward
you
to
had
that
you
one.
had your turn. You had your chance.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Sky Captain the World Tomorrow? Yeah, again, I have. And looking at like his IMDb page, I've seen many Jude Law movies, and I know what he looks like. Obviously, I just like I watched Grand Budapest Hotel last year for not the first time, and yeah, I would be able to pick his voice out even right now. I don't know if I would
Mm.
be able to pick his voice out. Um, but yeah,
We do have another question
Tampa-
from Evan as well,
okay.
asking, why do you think they added the circus bit from the Christmas special? Are they hanging a lamp on using the Mandalorian design from it, or is it a deep lore of Disney canon?
I think
So,
someone's just having fun.
yeah, I think it's just the holiday special exists in universe, so
Hmm.
must be it.
Yeah. So I was reading they actually recreated it. They didn't use original. I thought they might have used original footage, but they recreated it. Which that's a lot. That's a lot for a gag.
It's the first Star Wars thing to get a remake? Is the Christmas special then? Or holiday special? Not Christmas.
What about did they? The only thing I was thinking of is maybe in The Last Jedi when with Princess Leia's message, they probably choose the exact same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Deep fake Gigolo Joe.
So we just gotta wait for Chewbacca's grandpa, and I assume he'll be an Andor.
Not in a kid's show.
Yeah. Nasty old man.
He's a good hero in Galactic Battlegrounds, I think. Or no, is that his? It's his dad.
Is he really? And that's funny. I had no idea.
Yeah, there's you you have like the Wookiees are a faction in in Galactic Battlegrounds.
Mhm.
So the VR porn dad of Chewbacca is also a character that you lead like a revolution with in Galactic Battlegrounds. So yeah, if you go to
What a man will do when his gooning gets interrupted by the Empire.
if you go to a Tchitcook's Wikipedia page,
Mhm.
the main image is his like old man VR porn image from Holiday Special. But if you scroll down a bit, you get to in his younger years, and like it's his revolutionary Che Guevara.
Yeah, why does it? Why? What's up with this? Why does he have such a big underbite?
It's probably some ageist thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there he is. Grandpa. It's funny because he wouldn't have aged very much in those years either.
I think he
Like
runs around. I think those missions you have him and Qui-Gon Jinn as heroes. Like Qui-Gon Jinn helped the Wookiees on Alaris Prime or something. But yeah,
famously, yeah, famously. Yeah. Yeah, Andor's going to tell that story. I'm positive.
So which of the four I'm ripping this off from Star Wars Explained stream, but which of the four kids do you identify most with? Between Neil, Wim, Fern, and KB.
I mean, definitely Wim because I was saying less me, but my son reminds me a lot of him.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's smart and he's got a good heart, but he's also like kind of fuck school at the same time. Not even fuck school, just like school's cool, but I'd rather be like playing spaceships or like running around or like whatever. Yeah, I found that I actually thought all the kids had like an interesting dynamic. Where yeah, he reminded me a lot of my son. The older girl, like she's definitely a lot of bluster, but actually I don't know if she's older. Fern, yeah, the leader. She's kind of got a lot of bluster, but definitely we'll see some
She
insecurities and
fucking pulls a
whatnot.
gun on someone. Like that. It's not just bluster.
It's true, yeah. She shoots that ceiling and the tile falls down, which was fun.
Yeah.
Funny, I mean, everyone loves Neil. I really like KB though. She's really cool.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say KB is the one that I probably identify most with. Or like, my
you
friends
would,
were
you
the bad
nerd.
kids growing up, so like I was with them, but not really with them.
Mm-hmm.
I had helped my friend study in high school while they
Why do
were
you gotta
out
be so
smoking
mean?
pot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know much about her yet, but so far I'm leaning somewhere between her and Neil. I'm not a Wim, and I'm not a Fern. I'm definitely not a Fern. I'm somewhere between two Ferns.
I love the moment where the ship starts to activate and the button is there and like he knows that he shouldn't press it, but like there's no amount of will in his body that can stop him from pressing the green button.
The button's getting pressed, mate. It's
Yeah. 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 Zero chance that's not getting pressed.
I wonder if they have like ADHD medication on At-Atton.
No, that's the issue.
I felt so
It
bad
was
for like he just wants his dad to read him a bedtime story.
Yeah, his
It's just
dad's a
like
dick.
you're a little old for that, but
Yeah, not only does his dad say no, but like he's like also grow the fuck up. Yeah, your mom's dead. Get over it.
he may as well have just turned around and said, "Actually, I don't love you."
Yeah, and I think that is why, like, we're gonna see Wim and Jude Law develop the closer connection than any.
Yeah.
Because there's that scene where he's watching Neil's family, who are very silly. I forget the name of the baby. That also reminded me a lot of my kids too. When like he's like talking to Neil, he's like, "But I'm gonna miss baby, whatever." Like that's very realistic, but yeah, he's got no dad, and well, his dad's there, but not really, and he's got no mom, obviously. So I think that's going to be interesting to see that relationship develop.
Yeah, like at our age, we're all just gonna identify more with Wim's dad, where everything is falling behind because we're all just spending too much time working.
Yeah.
So how much can we really judge him? But the whole "do I need like aren't you too old for that?" That was a dick move.
You know, you're never too busy to read your kid a story.
Very true.
Go
That's
work
why
in
I read
the.
part of Master Fear every day.
Yeah. This is an important lesson about fascism.
This is why Mon Mothma secretly doesn't like Bail Organa that much. She thinks he's actually kind of annoying. True facts. Spoiler alert, but true.
I'm looking forward to that book. I might wait and do it in an audiobook. How long is it?
It's fairly long. It's like several hundred pages.
Yeah, I might do it on
It's
audiobook.
freed length.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I really didn't like what's it called? Alpha Squadron the first time. And it was largely because of and you mentioned it yourself, his writing is, I don't know if flowery is quite the
It's
right
plotting.
word. Plotting, yes. Plotting.
If you're not into the plotting, then that'll be a downside for you. But like for me, it doesn't offset what it's doing.
It's plotting, and it's also, what's the word? Like, not emotional, but like over emotional, maybe. But
it's
like
heavy.
Not in a bad way. There's a word for it I can't think of, but where like there'll be a mild disagreement in between two starfighter pilots, and it'll lead one down to an introspective rabbit hole about like their deepest insecurities and stuff.
But my deepest insecurity is that if we make it into the future, there's not going to be any handheld gaming platforms. But Wim has his little datapad reader thing, so that's probably got some games on it, right?
Yeah, it's got to.
We've seen that in Young Jedi Knights as well.
Yeah, Ben Solo has one in Fate of the Jedi, I remember, as well. He's got like an iPad. Ben Skywalker. Ben Skywalker's an iPad kid. Like, they just left him in the maw. Like, yeah, Yuuzhan Vong War's happening. Just go on YouTube.
So whatever the like Bluey equivalent in Star Wars is, has to be Neil's species. Or Max Rebo's, I guess.
It looked like the VR thing from the holiday special. It reminded me a lot of the Wiggles.
Yeah. Well, it almost reminded me of the Pip-Boy too, because you were talking about Fallout earlier, where like the planet does have some Vault-Tec vibes, but like even his datapad has some.
Yeah, it's got like when it changes the screen, it's got like almost a chunky like refresh type thing where like it almost looks like it slides a new one.
Yeah.
Like
the slide viewer things that you'd have. You click and
I remember those. Those are so cool. I used to have the Lion King on there. Never had a Star Wars one, funny enough.
There had to be some Star Wars ones. So
sure there was. Yeah. Though they were cool though. I mean, they still exist. My son has one that like it projects onto the ceiling. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty. Anything else for the first two episodes we should touch on?
No, I mean, I really like it. I love the dynamic between the kids. I feel like it could be, the show. I feel like could be very heartwarming and touching if they play it the right way, and that's what I'm hoping. I'd like them to keep the tone like it is. Obviously, we've seen X-Wings and stuff in some of the previews. They put out a music video today for the Major Tom
Huddy's version.
The Huddy's version, which had a bit of new footage in it, maybe like 5 or 10 seconds. But yeah, it looks good. I hope that it stays as heartwarming and as wholesome. That'd be my main hope. And yeah, looking forward to episode 3. It's gonna be. We've got 8 episodes this season, right?
Yes, it ends in mid-January, so we've got a month and a half of Skeleton Crew goodness to look forward to.
Yeah, I could see this being it could be a surprise hit for a lot of the same reasons that The Mandalorian was. I mean, The Mandalorian wasn't a surprise hit, but
we'll see.
People like Star Wars. It comes down to a few things, like, and maybe this without bringing up too much. The Acolyte was missing some of these things for me, where the dynamic between characters is always really important, and usually there's one really interesting hook, and this has done a great job with the kind of exploration and excitement. So very good so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more of it. We'll talk about it every week as the episodes come out. So generally Wednesdays will probably be when we do the Tapcaf episodes for Skeleton Crew for the next little while. So it'll be probably a little while before we are back to doing any books. We're also going to be doing our NJO overview episode at some point. We don't actually have to read anything for that. So see when that ends up coming up. But yeah, let us know what you thought of Skeleton Crew in the comments. I will have this episode posted as soon as possible. I actually recorded it so I don't screw myself by having to wait until YouTube finishes processing to download it. Tricked YouTube. But
yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll stream this next one on my channel as well. But if you haven't already, make sure you follow the podcast, Tapcaf Transmissions. We just went through the entirety of the New Jedi Order. All 19 novels plus the comics over the past 2 years. So we've got how many episodes do we have now?
195, I think this is.
So we've went all the way from the Battle of Endor to the end of the New Jedi Order, and we've jumped around canon, legends, and we've got another 200 episodes in it easily coming up. So follow if you haven't already.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.